Republicans want to make the midterms all about President Biden and the crises they insist he's created. Pundits say Democrats' best chance of keeping seats is to put all the focus on Donald Trump.
Hello, Iowa.
President Trump all smiles for his first Iowa rally since the 2020 election, quickly calling out President Biden and his party over political and economic failures.
After just 9 months under Biden, violent criminals and bloodthirsty gangs are taking over our streets. Illegal aliens and deadly drug cartels are taking over our borders. Inflation is taking over our economy.
Flanked by several influential Republicans while addressing the crowd of thousands, Trump is vowing to help the GOP sweep Democrats from their majority.
We must pour every ounce of our energy into winning a historic victory in the midterm.
Trump believes Republicans will win big with his supporters because he expanded the GOP base, which he acknowledged in his speech at CPAC in February.
We will lead the conservative movement and the Republican Party back to victory, and it will be a greater victory than this party has ever had.
RNC spokesperson Paris Denard insists Trump will definitely play a role in 2022.
When it comes to electing Republican candidates, his support is important.
So will be the Republicans' midterm advantage, that being the party of the president historically loses seats in Congress. If Biden follows the path of other recent presidents, he'll spend political capital navigating crises, including a botched withdrawal from Afghanistan and soaring illegal entries into the U.S., and lose supporters in the process.
I'm not sure we're ever going to have a clear idea about who has a firm control because the majority is so narrow. And in the House, we're in a holding pattern because we are in a redistricting cycle. And the states have not yet finalized their new congressional maps. So we don't know what the districts look like.
Meanwhile, Biden's approval numbers keep sinking. Quinnipiac showing him at just 38% approval, with the majority saying his administration is not competent to run the government. The White House again blaming the pandemic.
This is a really tough time in our country. We're still battling COVID, and a lot of people thought we'd be through it, including us.
Now, Republicans need to gain just 1 seat in the Senate and 5 in the House to take back the majority. The main battleground states are Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Nevada. Heather.
Tara, in just a few weeks, Virginia voters will elect their next governor, a race said to be a precursor of the midterms. How has President Trump played into that election?
Yeah, for sure, Heather. All eyes are on this Virginia race. Well, you know, Glenn Youngkin is walking a very fine line here, and he knows that he appreciates the Trump endorsement, he says, but he's got to keep the independent vote to win this race. Independent voters may or may not like Donald Trump, but he's also got to keep Trump's loyal base. And if he doesn't pay homage to Trump, it would be not out of the question for them to be upset with him and not cast their vote in his favor. So, Heather, it is a very tight race here. It gets closer all the time with Youngkin taking the advantage little by little, and there's not a lot of room for error. And by the way, President Trump has said that if Youngkin does not fully embrace MAGA, he may lose this race. So he's not at all happy that Youngkin is kind of doing the balancing act here.
Well, fascinating to watch that. Tara, thanks for your report.